All right, welcome to my podcast, Bed and Breakfast in Bed, the world's probably only podcast about, eggs, which is pretty neat. Joined by my co-host Kolya here, who is, a bit of an expert.
Nice one, Gremory. Thank you. Yes, my name is Kolya. Thank you for the nice introduction. Appreciate that.
Good friend of mine, bravest person I know. Plausibly even braver than, any of the first responders at 9/11.
Oh, thank you. I'm very humbled, and I agree.
I've been told that you're somewhat of an egg yourself, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I've been told. I don't really, 77%.
77%?
Yeah, that's what I got rated, but whatever.
Rated by what? Are you, spouting crime statistics at me already? It's, too early for that.
Fuck! Oh, God, you really fucking fucked me there.
Yeah, what you gonna do about it, nerd? Deal with it.
Train of thought's fucked now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm here today to, we're here today. Sorry.
Yes.
I get a little passionate about eggs myself.
Yeah.
I like them, boiled, soft, medium, or hard boiled. Depending on who you are. What do you think personally on soft boiled eggs?
I feel like I'm a hard-boiled girl. I need a hard-boiled egg.
You think so? You don't like a secretion of goop when you bite in? It's quite refreshing.
No, that's horrible. I need an egg that matches the toughness of my soul. So
okay, well it sounds like you can't cope with change.
I really can't. So tell us, Kolya, how do eggs relate to you personally? Because, for me, I'm a fan of eggs conceptually. I like the texture, I like the shape, I like the way they look. Not a big fan of eating eggs, but, just the concept of, a rock that, has a baby inside of it is, that really gets me. It, really wiggles a little bit of that, autism brain I got.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to be an egg.
You used to be an egg?
Technically.
In, your mother's womb?
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't, hatched from a fucking dinosaur egg like fucking Daisy from, the 1980s Mario movie?
No, I was not, but I personally have a connection because I once was technically an egg. Don't you have that same connection?
I personally don't think, mammalian, eggs that are stored inside of the body, womb eggs, really count. We're talking more, external eggs, when you lay an egg.
Well, you and I just have different ideas then, I guess, because I relate on a spiritual level myself, so I can't say the same for you.
You relate to eggs on a spiritual level, but you yourself are not an egg?
No.
Alright, beautiful. What's, your personal history with eggs? What made you want to get into eggs?
Well, Grammary, it all started back when I was in college, right? I was taking a course of sociology and just ethics, and I was very interested, right? So I started looking into the increased use of nonstick pans, right?
Oh.
Personally,
I will always be a fan of butter.
I really do like butter. Sometimes you put it in the nonstick pan. Personally, I did when I was younger, right? So
yeah.
The more research I did, the more eggs that I made on these new nonstick pans, right? And soon I just started to feel interesting, right? So I started doing my own study and I started consulting my my academic peers, and we came together and we drew this conclusion that nonstick pans actually lead to increased war crimes. Did you know that?
Now, how would nonstick pans, lead to an increase in war crimes?
See, the chemical that actually makes it non-stick, that secretes into the brain, and our compassion receptors, right? They also become non-stick, meaning we hold no compassion, meaning increased war crimes, especially hold on, this is important, hear me out, especially when you think about all of the cooks that go overseas and they're cooking up, for the platoons, you think about all the things that America's racked up, non-stick pans.
So what you're saying is that the goofy chemicals used in non-stick pans, non-stick your compassion for human life? Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly, and I just happened to eat so many eggs that I ended up having, nothing good to take away from it, other than the sheer horror of the fact that, I wanted to commit war crimes now. But then I realized I have a newfound love for eggs, so that's great. It worked out.
What do you think of like the prevailing theory that the terrorists who flew the plane into like the 9/11 towers like ate eggs for breakfast that day?
Honestly, I think that is fact. That is not speculation. The studies here to prove it, especially going into exactly what they're trying to do, create terror. So of course they would put this in the nonstick pans. Of course they would send it overseas. Of course they'd be feeding these terrorists scrambled eggs in the morning with their virgin olive oil. There's 72 virgin olive oil. Is that appropriate?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh fuck.
There's 72 virgins olive oil.
Yeah, there's 72 virgin olive oil. You don't think they're eating the eggs right before they're flying that in? You don't think they're eating those scrambled eggs straight from those nonstick pans right before they're flying into building 2?
Yeah, scrambled eggs because they want to like scramble American democracy.
Exactly. Crime against humanity, crime against cooking, and a crime against eggs.
Chilling stuff, Cole, yeah.
Yes, I am currently also writing a book.
You are? What's the name of that book? Do you want to
War and Eggs.
War and Eggs. Yes.
War and Eggs, yes. It's my personal autobiography of my time in Vietnam in the 90s running a pan company. Wasn't nonstick at all.
Yes, your pans were in fact very stick.
They were very stick pans. I was not going to morally lower myself to such disgusting standards. So
yeah, like if you wanted breakfast in the morning, you had to like really work to scrape it out of the pan.
Yes, absolutely, as you should.
Burnt every time.
Crispy is the preferred nomenclature. Thank you.
Yes, crispy. All right, let's get back on track. I was thinking for the formula for our podcast, we would focus on a different type of like egg, like each episode. And I'm thinking that like we got to start off with something classic, something iconic, something easy for the first episode.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I personally, my personal favorite, fried eggs. It's just simple, easy, good to go, ready to eat.
Your favorite eggs are fried eggs? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
I actually didn't know that about you. I would have guessed like scrambled.
No, certainly not. I do enjoy myself a good fried egg, especially if I make it into a sandwich. Do you ever make a fried egg sandwich?
Of course I have.
What kind of toppings do you put on a fried egg sandwich?
Yeah, personally, when I make an egg sandwich, I like to put like something pickled on there. Like use like a dill pickle, maybe a little bit of like a ketchup or sriracha.
That kind of just seems foul to me. I'm sorry to say, that seems very disgusting.
No, like something like vinegary, like a pickle or like a good ketchup, not like a cheap Garbo ketchup, is like very nice. Throw on a little bit like red wine vinegar on the bread. Eat that sit right up.
Oh. Ah. That sounds disgusting. I think the furthest that I could go is Lake Tabasco.
Yeah, but like, you are famously known for hating condiments. You don't like any type of like flavor sauce or shit like that.
Okay, you got me there. That is true. I'm not a condomaniac, all right?
Yeah. But like not even pickles?
No, I don't like pickles.
You don't like pickles in general?
I'm sorry to say that I do not.
What about sauerkraut?
No.
No? What about kimchi?
Not a fan.
No. What about like a pickled plum?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you're just like you're just wrong.
I don't think so. I think you're just wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong, you are wrong.
Why would I be wrong for disliking something?
Everybody likes pickles.
So I'm nobody then, huh?
Yeah, nobody to me.
Yeah, apparently you're nobody to me, because you can't respect my dislike for condiments and vinegar things, pickles.
You are a stranger on this, so...
You are dead to me. I said like go to the furthest extreme.
Yeah.
It felt right just to go to the furthest extreme.
Poggers, epic.
Oh fuck. That was good. Oh my god.
Just, is it even a sandwich if you do not put more on it?
Yes, it is. It is a sandwich.
Are you saying that the inclusion of bread therefore like makes it a sandwich in and of its own right?
If you put ice between two pieces of bread, it would be an ice sandwich.
No, I refuse to engage with this. An ice sandwich.
You don't agree? What makes a sandwich a sandwich? If what makes an egg sandwich an egg sandwich?
I mean, it would be ingredients in between two pieces of bread, but like.
But it's an egg sandwich for what reason?
Because it has an egg in it, but that's not what I'm trying to unpack here. Are you saying like if you saved ice in between two slices of bread, that would count as a sandwich?
Yes.
It
wouldn't be a good sandwich, but it would be a sandwich.
I feel like a sandwich implies the inclusion of like non-liquid ingredients.
Ice is solid.
Not for very long. Like if you were to put like fucking mustard in between two slices of bread, that's hardly a sandwich.
That's a mustard sandwich.
That's barely a goddamn sandwich.
It is a sandwich. It doesn't matter if it is barely doesn't matter. It is or it is not.
It is by the thinnest definitions a sandwich, which I feel disqualifies it. I feel like a sandwich needs to have effort. It needs to put effort into being a sandwich.
I think you are becoming way too passionate, and you are coping with the fact that anything can be a sandwich if you stick between two pieces of bread. You gonna come at me right now? I didn't think so. So what makes a sandwich then if it doesn't? So it has to be more ingredients. I don't understand.
I feel like it's going to be ingredients between two slices of bread, but there also has to be a modicum of effort involved.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why must there be an amount of effort involved? Why can't you just slap together a sandwich?
I feel like.
What is it then? If it's not, if an egg between two pieces of bread is not a sandwich, what is it?
It's definitely a sandwich, but I feel like there's a psychological like level behind what makes a sandwich a sandwich.
I think you're overthinking and just like trying to like justify this bad thought.
Yeah.
You're coping. You're actually coping right now.
Go fuck yourself.
You can't just fucking say that.
I can say whatever I want. It's our podcast.
Oh my god. Oh, it sounded so real. I felt so bad so quick. It's so hard for me to be like even jokingly mean. Okay. So what do you like? Okay, so if you're not willing to agree with me on what a sandwich is or isn't, or you have some like fixation on it or whatever, it's unhealthy. Let's move past it. What do you do with your fried egg? How do you like to eat your fried eggs?
Personally, I like to put my fried egg on like a bowl of hot rice. Just like break it apart, like mix it around, and just eat that mixture.
Have you ever in your life just eaten, not hot rice with a raw egg and just regretted it completely?
Shut the fuck up.
Has that ever happened to you?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. Shut the fuck up. I told you that in confidentiality. Shut the fuck up. Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was gonna be like that. I didn't think it was gonna be that upsetting. My bad.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to like explain myself for context. God, actually, no. You explain it. You tell the story. You like explain what the fuck happened.
So as Gremory told me, she had gone and gotten some some rice. There's some rice in the rice cooker, and she's like, "Oh, I want to crack an egg over this, and have the egg cooked from the residual heat." But it wasn't in a microwave safe container, and she just decided to, instead of cooking it, warming it up, somehow, some way, to just instead eat like room temperature rice with a raw egg. Surprising,
It wasn't
right?
even
Just
room temperature. It was cold. It was cold. It was
actually
rice.
cold. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is actually foul.
To be fair, I like fried the egg like halfway, so it was like gooey and raw on the top. But I didn't know the rice was like not warm yet. So like I scooped the rice into my bowl and then I like plopped the egg over the rice, but the bowl wasn't like microwave safe. So like it was too late at that point. I had to live with it. I had to eat like the slimy cold rice mixture.
You settled. That's all that happened. It's okay.
It was awful.
You settled.
It was traumatic.
You had acceptance. You really didn't go through the 7 stages pretty quickly.
Yeah. It was so sad. That was like the saddest meal I've had in a while. That's really saying something.
Oh well. You had a better prepared egg earlier.
Yes, I did make myself a better egg earlier. I properly fried the egg. I made sure the rice was hot. It was good.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to fulfill the want for that form of egg.
Alright, so let's talk spices. What kind of spices do you like to throw on your fried eggs?
I like salt. Salt, pepper. That's about it. Maybe some
That's
garlic.
It? I mean, I am a sucker for garlic. Chives are always nice.
Chives, garlic, salt, and pepper. Big fan. Big fan.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to use like cayenne powder or just like any like spicy like red chili powder. Anything adjacent to that. Any type of like curry powder.
Yeah, get a little kick in there. We like that. We like that.
Sometimes if I'm feeling it, I'll throw in like an allspice or like a garam masala. Get it like a baking like spices.
See, a couple of those I can't say I've heard of.
No?
No.
You haven't heard of like curry powder?
I've heard of allspice, don't know what it is. I've heard of masala, never had it.
Alright, allspice is like a mix of baking spices, like cloves and cinnamons and like that kind of shit.
Okay.
It's like stuff that you would put in like a nice like bread, like a sweet bread.
Yeah, okay.
Garam masala is like very similar to that.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. All this talk about seasoning reminds me of an experiment that I had looked into the other day.
Yes, it's the season for experiments. That's why the seasoning reminded you.
No, it's...
The talk of seasoning reminded you that it's the season to experiment with eggs.
Ah, I see what you did there, to experiment with eggs.
Yes, to experiment with eggs, because it is the season.
I see what you did there, to experiment with eggs. That's a good one. That's a good one. I almost didn't catch that one.
Yeah, to experiment with eggs. Because, like, we were talking about seasoning, and that reminded you that it's the season to experiment with eggs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure why you keep repeating it. That's a good joke. To experiment. That's great.
Yeah, to experiment.
So anyway, really seasoning.
Seasoning.
I guess you could say it's the season to talk about this experiment.
I think you mean it's the season to talk about this experiment.
Eggs. Okay.
You see, the joke works on 2 levels, because we said experiment instead of experiment, and because it's seasoning is just like season but without the ing. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Eggs. Floating in salt water, right? They did this experiment. This is what it reminded me of. They put salt in this water, right? They put these eggs in.
Oh, wait, no, I get it. The seasoning reminded you of the experiment because it's salt water.
Yes. It's an experiment. Yes, that's a good joke. We've been over this.
Not because it's the season for experiments, but because salt is a seasoning, and it's salt water, which you are experimenting with.
Yes, that's the joke that I just made. My own personal joke.
Yes, your own personal joke that you invented just now.
Yes. Thank you for noticing.
Yes, go on. Tell me about this experiment.
Okay, thank you. Jesus. Bring an expert on. Think he'd let him talk. This experiment, I almost missed the opportunity again, involved eggs floating in water. Now, in the non-salt water, the eggs floated on the surface. In the salt water, they happened to sink. Now, here's what I think. I don't think it has anything to do with the salt at all. I think this is just a facade propaganda strewn across by modern-day scientists trying to show us the difference between salt and fresh water.
Are you not a scientist?
I am a scientist.
Are you not the one that performed the experiments?
I am an expert. No, they are not the experts. I performed the experiment myself, and there was absolutely no difference between the two. You know what I think is happening? I think they're packing it full of chemicals. I think they're trying to change our genes. I think what's going to happen is once the ice caps melt and the water level rises and we get forced out of our homes and everything floods, we're going to sink to the bottom while the rich bozos live on top, eating their non-GMO farm-fed fresh eggs. What do you think about that? You think that the eggs really float differently depending on the water they're in? You think that's real? Or do you think they're putting lead in those eggs? Think they got lead chickens? Fuck. Alright, my tangent's lost.
Do you think birds can make it over the ice wall?
I don't think so. I think there is a force field and or thousands of snipers.
Thousands of snipers to stop the birds?
Anybody.
Oh. Alright, so what I am hearing is that store-bought eggs are pumped full of, like, GMOs and heavy metals, which, like, physically raise the weight of the people who eat them, and thus make them more prone to sinking. Whereas regular, like, farm-fresh eggs don't contain those things, and thus don't have that effect on you.
Exactly. Have you ever noticed the difference in price between the two? Clearly, there's a choice to be made depending on where you are in the socioeconomic ladder. Clearly, so that there is a clear line drawn. It's plain as day.
Personally, I would not know, as I have never purchased an egg.
Now listen. The thing about this is it's not that it makes people heavier. It makes people naturally less buoyant. It makes gravity work with the water. It allows them to be dragged down at a much easier pace. It is harder for them to keep themselves up because of these things in their blood. Their bodies are just easier to sink.
If that doesn't, like, physically raise their weight or density, then how does that work?
Oxygen is removed from the blood because of the chemicals being put into the eggs. Do I really have to put on training wheels for this?
Yes, I am very stupid.
Fuck. Okay, now I gotta think of, like, lore. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so oxygen is removed from the blood.
Oxygen is removed from the blood because of the heavy metals that people are consuming.
So that makes your blood more dense and less... The lack of oxygen in the body makes you less buoyant as you're, like, more solid. There's less empty space inside of you.
Indeed.
So instead of being like a balloon where air would be the air, you're a balloon where the air is not air. A balloon full of lead.
Heavy metals, yes. Mostly lead.
Mostly lead.
Indeed. Now that is accelerated science.
Shut the fuck up, you dumbass. Accelerated science.
That was good. Fuck you.
Alright, so this is some pretty groundbreaking, science that you've presented to me, but I have to ask you, one thing, one follow-up question.
Yes.
Where were you on January 6th?
Right inside.
Right inside?
Right inside, front and center. But I was there as a journalist, so I had no wrongdoing.
Yeah. Oh, yep. You were at the fucking Capitol building. You weren't, at home.
No.
No?
No, I was inside. I was a journalist, so it's fine. I had no violent tendencies. I was just sitting there, being a journalist.
This is, actually unironically true. I'm gonna put up a picture and I'm gonna circle, where Kolya is in the photo.
That sounds great. That sounds totally fine and a-okay with me.
Alright, this guy right here, that's him.
Please, no!
Zoom in.
Enhance.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
him.
God. It's not me, I promise.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not me.
Yeah.
Where were you on January 6th? Actually, you know what? How do you have the nerve to ask somebody that? You don't just ask somebody that you we're trying to talk about eggs here and you're just gonna drop that on me?
Yeah.
You know what? That really actually struck a nerve.
Oh. Everybody loves a little bit of comedy, right?
Yeah.
I have, prepared a joke, which I have found on the website eggs.org.New Zealand, that I would like to tell to you right now.
Okay, I'm prepared.
Yes. Anybody who's known me for a long time has, they know that I have a certain, particular taste for jokes.
You have a strong sense of humor, I'd say.
Yes, I am very funny.
Agreed.
I only know the best jokes.
Agreed.
Alright. So, this one here, this is a real gem, courtesy of eggs.org.New Zealand /egg-jokes/.
Thank you. I took notes on that immediately as you were saying it for further use later. Appreciate that.
Alright. So there's 2 eggs in a frying pan, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first egg says, "Hello there." The second egg says, "Ah, a talking egg." That's the end of the joke.
That was a very good joke. Thank you.
It really wasn't. That was terrible.
I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you. What is it? www.egg.New Zealand.
Yes, thank you, eggs.org.New Zealand /egg-jokes/.
Holy. What a great find. Thank you for that.
Yes. There's actually some real gems on this site here. How does a witz make scrambled eggs?
Go on.
She holds the pan and gets 2 friends to make the stove sink with fright. I'm actually reading this in real time and I'm actually confused.
I don't understand.
Let's dissect this real quick.
Okay.
How does a witz make scrambled eggs?
Aha.
She holds the pan.
Yes.
She gets 2 friends. The 2 friends then proceed to make the stove shake with fright. That is how a witz makes scrambled eggs.
The friction cooks the eggs? Friction generates heat, causes the eggs to cook?
Is it the fact that it's a witz that it's making the eggs scramble with a fright?
Maybe.
But then why would she need 2 friends to shake? But no, they're not even scrambling the eggs with fright. The 2 friends are shaking the stove. It's
No,
the
they're shaking the
stove.
pan with
No,
fright.
no, 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 no. The stove is shaking with fright. How does a witch
What?
make scrambled eggs? She holds the pan and gets two friends to
Oh,
make the stove shake
that's how
fright.
she scrambles the eggs. Not how she cooks them specifically.
I'm gonna send this to you.
That makes sense. I get
It
it.
doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does. It
It
does make
doesn't.
sense. It does make sense
You're
because no, no, no. Listen, because the stove would shake. They go like teeth chatter, right? Like
okay.
fucking shaking, right?
Yeah, the
And then
two
the eggs
friends
are
are
in there.
shaking the stove.
The stove is already on. The stove is already on, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, they need three people to like sufficiently scare the stove into shaking enough to scramble the eggs in the pan that is already like cooking on the hot stove.
Is one witch not enough to like frighten the
Uh,
stove
I
though?
guess not. I guess not. That's the only unnecessary variable in this in the joke, but I think that's the only way it makes sense.
Is this just a bad joke?
Yes, all of them are.
Is this like
Most likely.
I mean like yeah, but is it like an ill-conceived joke? Is like whoever wrote this a moron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. This is horrible. Did you hear about the wizard who turned his friend into an egg?
No, I have not.
He kept trying to poach his ideas.
These were not written by a human being.
You don't think so?
No way. These are like generated.
Like, maybe? Are we in the era of fucking, like, AI generated, like, joke articles?
Possibly.
Did ChatGPT write these jokes?
I don't know, they really don't actually make a whole lot of sense.
Okay, oh, gee. Here, here's a good one.
Okay.
Why did the chicken cross the playground?
I don't know why.
To get to the other slide.
God damn it. Okay. Alright. I don't know, I think a human might have wrote that one.
Yeah. Okay.
That one's stupid enough to be funny.
Put two down. Why did the chicken cross the internet?
Why?
To get to the other site.
Okay.
Yeah, this is... I hate this. What else is on, like, eggs.org.New Zealand?
Check it out. Let me know.
I don't think I will. I think I'm done with this site. Yeah. God. God. Like, reading through joke sites always makes me feel like I'm stupid. Like, I always have, like, such a hard time, like, grasping some jokes just because they're, like, so inane and, like, awkwardly worded, you know?
Yes, of course.
Like, there's no way an intelligent person, like, formed these jokes.
No, not at all.
Do you have any favorite jokes?
I don't have any favorite jokes.
No?
I think actually my only favorite joke is the what does a pirate say on his 80th birthday?
Me 80.
Hi, matey.
I'm 80.
Yeah. He's 80. Hi, matey.
The pirate is 80.
Yes.
He's an 80-year-old pirate.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's an 80-year-old pirate. Hi, matey.
Alright, can I tell you my favorite joke?
Yes.
Did you hear about the clown that had trouble sitting down?
I have not.
He was a stand-up comedian.
Oh my god. That is a great joke. I'll have to steal that.
Yeah.
That's some good content.
How many times have I told you that joke? Okay, we'll unpack that in a second. But no, like, how many times have I told you that joke?
You've told me that joke probably like at least probably 60 to 70 plus times. If you want like a real estimate. Probably.
Oh, you're not alone. I tell that joke to fucking everybody nonstop.
Yes, I know.
It's such a good joke.
It is a joke.
Okay, so like you called my joke content. That was a callback to like something that like happened today. We were playing like an online game with like randos just for like the sit of it because it'd be funny. And like this kid like joined our session and started saying a bunch of like inane garbage like Skibbity Ohio Riz Grimace sake hit the gritty Kanye West and some shit like that.
Yes, exactly.
Like non-stop for like fucking half an hour. Listening to like Kanye West and like what was it? Travis Scott? Like
Yes.
blasting it like so loud it was coming in through his microphone.
It was genuinely a painful thing to hear.
Yeah, but like I told a joke and he called it content. He said, "That's a funny joke. That's good content." Like, what the fuck?
Children nowadays are actually unhinged.
Yeah. God, he called my joke content.
How does that make you feel?
I was flabbergasted in the moment, but I love it. That's like awesome. I want to call all sorts of things like content in my day-to-day speech now.
I feel like that's going to become an issue for you and others around you.
Okay, but like similar things have happened that did have become like issues for me and the people in my life. Like you haven't like known me for the period of my life where I would like yeah, there's like a period in my life where I would only use like the adjectives like fucking cringe and based to like describe things. Those were the only two. I lived life in a binary.
I kind of love that though.
Yeah. Like it was actually problematic because it was like actually like hindering my ability to like think in like nuance or like form like coherent ideas. Everything was cringe or it was based. No in between, like no gray area. It was poisoning my language.
God.
It was poisoning my thought processes.
I had the same issue when I was like early high school, like late middle school. Like I started saying like epic ironically, and then I could not stop saying it unironically, and it was like
No.
actually so bad.
No, this was like from the period of my life from like 22 to 23. I was a full-grown woman. I could
That's
drink.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was based.
That is based. That is incredibly based.
Based in red
Holy
build.
shit! Actually, red pilled, red
Yeah.
pilled, far right pilled,
Yeah. God.
ultra right pilled.
Oh yeah. Like that is something that like you know me for is like describing things as like alt right or like what else what is the thing that I used to say?
Ultra right.
Not ultra right. I like describe things as like
Alt pilled.
not alt pilled. I'd say like red pilled, alt right. I'd use alt right to describe things as like good, jokingly because it was funny. I think I used like I think I described something as like a racist dog whistle once to like refer to it as being like really cool, and that like got a laugh in the moment, but I haven't done it like since. But it's like that's good levels of irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Like I think it's safe to say that we are like very liberal, we are very left leaning, we are very like socially conscious. Like our
Yes.
woke credit like scores are way up there.
Yeah, I could rent a car.
Yeah.
My credit score is good enough.
Yeah. God, like I wrote down woke credit score with like a question mark on my little piece of paper here, and I don't remember why I did that. So like just the term woke credit score has been staring me in the face for like weeks, if not months. What was the context for writing that down? Alright, I found it out. I wrote it down because I watched a clip of Jordan Peterson saying, "Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who." from like his like Twitter ban rant from when he got banned off Twitter.
Oh my god.
Yeah. How do you feel about Jordan Peterson?
I think he's a fucking weirdo. I think he's really depressed because he can't let go of like everything he's ever believed in, and now he's like stuck just trying to like shill for who he wants to be.
He looks really sad.
Yes, he does. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like he's actually disappointed that he can't post on Twitter.
Yeah. That was his life.
Yeah.
Poor Jordan Peterson.
Alright, so let's wrap up the podcast. Do you have any last words on like fried eggs? Which was like the entire topic of this episode.
Yeah, that's certainly all we did talk about. I'm happy we had a healthy and good discussion about fried eggs and absolutely no other discourse. I appreciate you waking me up early to do this.
Yeah, it's 7 a.m. right now.
Yep. I don't know why we had to get up at 7 a.m. to do this, but
for breakfast.
Appreciate you doing that.
It's for the vibe.
True. Oh, that all makes sense now. All right, well, thank you. No, no other thoughts. Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
See, if you wake up at breakfast time, that puts you in, like, the egg mood, and that, like, flows the creative, like, egg juices.
Yeah, the juices were flowing, that is for certain.
Yeah, it's called breakfast in bed and breakfast for a reason. That's because we are recording this in bed right now.
Yes.
Honk, snoo, honk, snoo, honk, snoo. Me, 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 me.
I committed the fatal crime of what has come to be known in the appalling sensorial terminology of the insane activists as dead naming. That doesn't exist, by the way, that dead name category, except in the sensorial and addled minds of a tiny fraction of insanely narcissistic and increasingly dangerous trans activists. Were the operations undertaken by the fascist physicians who carried out the Nazi medical experiments legal? Yes. And I'm not taking down that tweet or acknowledging that my tweet violated the Twitter rules. Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.